Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this press conference that, as you know, will be concentrated on agriculture matters, and we will revert to fisheries later on, hopefully this evening. Let me introduce on stage Minister Maurizio Martina, Minister of Agriculture of Italy, who presided the Council today, and with us on stage, Commissioner Phil Hogan. Without further ado, I will leave the floor to the Minister for his remarks.
Grazie, intanto colgo ancora l'occasione per salutare il commissario Hogan al suo primo consiglio e per augurare a lui e a tutto il suo staff buon lavoro per i prossimi impegni, i prossimi anni e per il lavoro che già dobbiamo condurre insieme. Dunque, la giornata di oggi fino a qui, devo dire, è stata una giornata proficua e molto utile per il Consiglio tutto. Anticipo che il punto pesca fondamentale di oggi lo stiamo ancora trattando e riprenderemo i lavori alle ore 18. Fino a qui abbiamo lavorato molto su alcuni punti agricoltura, direi il principale dei quali era ed è quello relativo alla proposta della Commissione europea di modificare, come sapete, il budget 2015 attraverso una riduzione del Fondo europeo agricolo di garanzia, il FEAG. La discussione che abbiamo avuto in seno al Consiglio ha permesso alla Presidenza italiana di definire una posizione forte, unitaria, da parte di tutto il Consiglio dei Ministri dell'Agricoltura. Questi ultimi, quindi tutti i ministri, hanno ritenuto che la proposta della Commissione non corrisponda alle necessità del settore agricolo già molto provato dall'impatto dell'embargo deciso dalla Federazione Russa. Non si ritiene che l'agricoltura europea debba pagare due volte la conseguenza di questo bando russo. Questo orientamento adesso verrà espresso in maniera molto chiara, con concretezza, attraverso una lettera che io invierò in quanto Presidente al Presidente dell'Ecofin affinché tenga conto della posizione dei Ministri dell'Agricoltura nell'ambito della procedura di conciliazione che è già in corso in Parlamento europeo e che si svilupperà anche nelle prossime settimane. Abbiamo poi presentato un documento della Presidenza per rafforzare le politiche in favore dei giovani agricoltori. Sapete che questo per noi è un tema molto importante, lo abbiamo messo al centro del lavoro della nostra Presidenza. Abbiamo presentato un documento che prova a sviluppare tre possibili piste di lavoro. Una prima pista di lavoro che riguarda e può riguardare interventi di sostegno della BEI, la Banca Europea degli Investimenti. Un secondo fronte ovviamente dedicato alla terra e quindi all'accesso alla terra, un terzo fronte dedicato all'istituzione di un vero e proprio Erasmus per i giovani agricoltori europei per rafforzare le azioni di condivisione, di formazione e di interscambio. Su questo documento abbiamo registrato in Consiglio una prima positiva accoglienza da parte di diverse delegazioni. Noi continueremo a lavorare con la Commissione su questi temi nei prossimi giorni e contiamo di valutare un approdo e un punto di iniziativa ulteriore con il Consiglio di dicembre. Un terzo argomento fondamentale del lavoro di oggi ha riguardato in particolare una dichiarazione che è stata presentata dai paesi del gruppo di Visegrad sulla riforma del regolamento biologico, i cui contenuti ci siamo impegnati ad integrare nella proposta di compromesso che verrà presentata al Consiglio di dicembre, quando avverrà la discussione vera e propria. Un quarto elemento di cui devo rendere conto è che ci sono stati ovviamente diversi punti varie, un documento sulle misure per eradicare la diabrotica del mais presentato da Austria e Ungheria, un'informativa slovena sulla conferenza svoltasi ad agosto in Slovenia, un punto sull'aiuto di Stato proposto da Cipro è stato invece rinviato al prossimo Consiglio. Infine, come Presidenza siamo nuovamente intervenuti sul tema dell'assegnazione dei domini Internet da parte dell'ICANN, insistendo con la Commissione affinché vengano assunte tutte le opportune iniziative, compresa l'attivazione della procedura di independent review in relazione alla possibile attribuzione dei domini .wine e .vin al fine di rassicurare la protezione delle indicazioni geografiche del vino europeo.
Commissioner.
Thank you very much, President, and I'm glad of the opportunity of being here today for my first Agri-Fish Council. And we had, as the President of the Council has outlined, a very interesting agenda. We didn't have any major decisions to make today, but it was a great opportunity to meet the 28 Council members, but equally to hear their views on a number of issues. And the principal issue, of course, was the budgetary situation arising from the amending letter of the Commission of the 15th of October last. This is having obviously a very serious matter of concern for Member States in the context of the Russian ban. It also very strong feelings from the Council members about using the crisis reserve, which is effectively reducing the direct payments to farmers in 2015 in addition to the reduction of the price paid for their product in the same year, is not acceptable to them. So I noted their concerns, and I will bring those matters to the attention of the College of Commissioners at our weekly meeting on Wednesday. Finance is critical to a number of the issues that have been raised in terms of compensation from countries, particularly on the new member states and Mediterranean countries, were very much highlighted in relation to the reduction in exports and the reduction in price for their product. And we are certainly not in a good position to respond in the way that member states would like us to respond because of the budgetary changes on the 15th of October. I'm also in relation to organics. I am anxious to proceed with the Commission proposals, but I am open to change some of those proposals during the course of the negotiations. And we expect that between now and next June that we will have an opportunity to make some of those changes and hopefully make the proposals and deal with the concerns, particularly from Germany and the Netherlands today, and indeed Austria, who have expressed some concerns in relation to the present proposals of the Commission. But I'm not withdrawing the proposal. I'm proceeding with that proposal to see how we can advance it with some of the changes that we can make to make it more palatable to the various member states that have expressed some concerns. Young farmers is a very big issue, and the Presidency quite rightly put this on the agenda. This is part of the essential structural reforms that are required for the future development of agricultural policy. If we don't have highly educated, strongly motivated people in the agricultural community in the future, we will not be able to get enhanced productivity, better knowledge transfer and innovation from people of the younger generation, and help them to stay involved and interested in agricultural activities. So the Common Agricultural Policy, as you know, has already given incentives in the new policy to young farmers, a 25% increase in top-up, additional support for businesses, but we need to do more. And I'm looking for support from the European Investment Bank, and looking for additional supports of how we can achieve certain objectives for young people in the context of the Rural Development Programme to enhance the prospects of young people being involved more and more in agricultural activity, and to give the value added that we need in the Member States. We only have so much land. We have to enhance productivity, and we have to enhance that through the younger generation, in my view. So I think the Presidency have dealt with a number of the other issues that have been organised. I won't repeat them again, but just to say that it was a good opportunity to hear the views of Member States across a number of issues, but obviously specifically on the budgetary difficulties that we have in order to deal with the crisis arising from the Russian ban. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We are now happy to take your questions. Kindly state your name and the media organisation that you represent.
Thank you. Rosa Donovan from Agrifax. A question to the newly appointed Commissioner, Mr. Hogan. I understand that you held a bilateral meeting this morning with the Baltic ministers as well as the Finnish Farm Minister to discuss the possibility of a compensation fund for their dairy producers. What was your main message to them, Commissioner? And at your European Parliament hearing, you said that you were ready, or that you stood ready to use all the tools available to you. But at today's discussion, it seems that you shot down the request from the Dutch, the Danes, and the Irish to open, or to at least introduce, private storage aid for pig meat. Could you perhaps provide a comment on this? And just a question to both yourself and Minister Martina. I'm quite interested to hear about this collaboration with the European Investment Bank in terms of supporting young farmers. Perhaps you could both elaborate on that point. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Rose. I did meet a considerable number of member states today at bilaterals, and including the Baltics and Finland, who obviously were very concerned about the reduction in their exports arising from the Russian ban and the reduction in their price. These are the two major criteria that we're using in order to allow us to target particular support in the event that we do get additional financial support from the budget negotiations. As you know, the Council and the European Parliament will make those decisions on the budget by next Monday. And it's up to them to provide the necessary finance. I can only go on as Commissioner on the basis of what is available to me at the moment, which is the decision of the 15th of October. But the Baltics and the Finnish delegation put forward a very coordinated and strong case for supporting their farmers in the context of the Russian ban. And I certainly would like to help them, but obviously it's a budgetary issue that is not allowing me to do so presently. But we continue to live in hope that maybe something might emerge in the coming week. In relation to pig meat, there is an oversupply of pigs in a number of the member states, including some of the countries that you mentioned today that raised the issue. So it's not just an issue of reducing a reduction in price from the Russian ban. There's already has been supports put in place regarding the African swine fever, as you know, back as far as last February, where there was market supports given for the purpose of 3 months to support those countries that had a difficulty with pig meat. But it would cost in excess of €100 million in order to open aids to private storage for pig meat, and I don't have the money, quite frankly, at the moment in order to do that, notwithstanding the case that I'm sure that member states will continue to put through. But the price reduction is not at all the same as the level of reduction in price for some of the products that the Baltics and Finland would put forward arising from the Russian ban. And the European Investment Bank, I have set up a working group as part of the Rural Development Programme with the EIB and DG Agri to explore opportunities not just for young farmers, but in addition to young farmers, where we can get a considerable additional level of support for our jobs, growth and investment package as part of the Juncker principles and the Juncker political guidelines going forward. And that working group, I hope, will be able to report to me by January, and that we will be able to see what additional financial support we can give in addition to bank guarantees and additional credit for young farmers for some of the incentivised investments now that they will be in a position to introduce arising from the CAP reform proposals.
Ma sì, anch'io confermo questo obiettivo. Credo che lavoriamo tutti per perfezionare e rafforzare il rapporto tra un grande soggetto come la BEI e un grande settore come quello agricolo, in particolare riferito alle giovani generazioni che credono e vogliono investire nel comparto agricolo. Credo che da questo punto di vista la Presidenza lavorerà anche nelle prossime settimane, pensando al Consiglio di dicembre, a un punto che sviluppi bene questo tipo di attività in relazione alla Commissione per il lavoro ereditato fin qui. Sono convinto che la BEI possa effettivamente intervenire più di quanto non abbia fatto, abbia anche l'attenzione e la disponibilità per farlo, ci sono già stati segnali da questo punto di vista. Credo che il nostro compito sia indirizzare, avere diciamo, strumenti chiari per poter fare un salto di qualità anche su questo fronte. Se un giovane agricoltore europeo riuscirà, soprattutto dal prossimo anno, a irrobustire la propria attività imprenditoriale, percependo direttamente anche un'azione della BEI in relazione ad altri soggetti, ciascuno per i propri paesi, noi faremo non solo il bene di quel giovane agricoltore, ma anche il bene dell'Europa, perché si dimostrerà ancora una volta che l'Europa concretamente sta al fianco delle giovani generazioni che vogliono investire su un settore cruciale come quello agricolo.
Hi, Ed Bray from AgriFacts. A question for the Commissioner on organic farming. In the discussion this afternoon, almost all the countries who intervened said that they would like to maintain the derogations that exist for sourcing non-organic feed, for example, non-organic animals, and also to have mixed farms, so conventional and organic on the same farm. When you said you're open to changes, are these among the changes that you're open to, given that it's a very important point in the proposals of the Commission to have no longer to allow conventional and organic on the same farm? And then a question to the Italian presidency: what's the timeline for this? You'd originally said that you'd like to have a common position among the member states by the end of the year. Is that still the case? Lots of member states were saying that we need more time for discussion at a technical level. And a final question for the Commission: your first official trip is to Berlin on Friday. Can we take any political signal from this about who you'll be bending your ear to before you put forward your proposals? Thanks.
Just because I'm 6'5" doesn't mean I can't listen or bend to whatever case has been made. I've already been in Paris to meet the Minister for Agriculture, Mr. Lafall. I was in Italy to meet my good friend, Mr. Martina, at a conference in Italy in October. And I don't believe I should go back again so quickly. I think I should go to a different member state. And I'm going to Berlin and Munich on Friday, and I will be visiting all the member states over the next 8 months to hear the views of not just the ministries, but to also hear the views of the various stakeholders on my visits. But certainly I expect to be able to meet a considerable number of players in the agriculture, food and rural development area over the next 8 months. Equally, I'll be visiting Latvia before Christmas, because they assume the presidency of the EU on the 1st of January, and I think of courtesy to them I should visit them and find out what their agenda was likely to be and their priorities are likely to be in the agricultural and rural development area for the first half of 2015. In relation to organics, I think a lot of people might have expected me to arrive today and withdraw the proposal, because there were so many concerns of member states to the present proposal of the Commission. But rather than do that, I took on board the Italian presidency opportunity to have a full discussion on organics at the December Council meeting, and to say very straightforwardly that I'm interested in making progress on this file, because it is, first of all, makes a big contribution to jobs and growth. It's a very fast-growing industry in many of our member states, but it's not as I expect. We need to provide a level playing pitch and ensure that we protect the reputation of organic products and maintain their consumer confidence. So the issues that you raised in relation to mixed farms, in relation to pesticides and all of those issues certainly will be part of any discussions, but I don't want to table my proposals for change at this stage, because there's a certain process that we have to go through. The rapporteur, Mr. Hausling from Germany, has been appointed. He is working through the parliamentary process, and the Council will have its views as part of the orientation debate in December. So I will be very open towards coming up with a practical and pragmatic approach towards ensuring that we do get a decisive outcome by next June, perhaps, in relation to this matter. And many of the member states today expressed concerns about the present proposal, and I share some of them. But I'm not going to, I suppose, give you the necessary detail of that, because it's not in my gift to make proposals. It's in my opportunity today and at the meeting in December will be to listen to the various proposals that the Council of Ministers wish to make, and indeed the members of the European Parliament may wish to make as part of their particular work that they're doing through the rapporteur, Mr. Housing.
Ma le parole del commissario mi sembrano molto importanti e tracciano la strada che anche noi vogliamo seguire. Come abbiamo sempre detto, noi puntiamo ad arrivare con il Consiglio di dicembre a un partial general approach, quindi ad un parziale approccio generale alla questione, ben sapendo la delicatezza che la proposta della Commissione ha, gli elementi su cui dobbiamo ancora lavorare. Ci siamo sempre impegnati per avvicinare le posizioni, costruire punti di equilibrio. Credo che si possa continuare così e si possa, per quel che riguarda la Presidenza italiana, fissare questo obiettivo per il Consiglio di dicembre.
Hello, Michael Gastager, Europe. A question for the Commissioner, just to follow up on the organics. I understand what you just said, but can we also understand that this means that the proposal has the full support of the whole Commission? We won't hear in the couple of weeks, for example, that it won't have the support of Mr. Timmermans anymore, that the Commission will still support the proposal. And I ask also because many of the critics, they criticize exactly what you just said. You want to contribute to growth and jobs with this proposal, and many critics say that this proposal is flawed from the outset and that it doesn't help the organic sector. It will harm it. So you still share the proposal. Thank you.
Well, can I assure you I'm not setting out to harm the organic sector. I'm trying to improve the proposal that's there in order to provide a level playing pitch for all member states for an industry that is growing rapidly and which needs certainty in relation to rules in order to protect the integrity of organics and consumer confidence in organic food. So, on the contrary, I am actually there to support it, but I am politically aware that there is difficulties with the present proposal. And I know that Mr. Housing, as the rapporteur in the European Parliament, is equally aware that there's political difficulties about the present proposal. So, rather than actually being negative about this particular proposal, let's see how we can do to improve it. Because I think it's very important from the point of view of jobs and growth and harmonisation of rules that are there at the moment, that we do get an outcome which would be good for everybody. And I'm prepared to play my part. That's all I'm saying. But it's not in my gift to play my cards now. It's up to the Council of Ministers in the orientation debate that will happen at the Council in December, to see can we get agreement there about the principles that will surround any particular continuation of the existing proposal or the changes that are being proposed to be made. And also the European Parliament have an important role to play a part of this proposal in terms of their work. I didn't hear Mr. Timmermans saying that he had a problem with the organics proposal. I heard that he might, in the overall sense, that he has difficulties about a lot of things in relation to better regulation and simplification, as I do. But I didn't hear him saying, to me anyway, personally, that he had a difficulty specifically with the organics proposal.
Okay. If there are no more questions, we'd like to thank you for your participation, and the Council will resume.
Okay.